Hey, hello guys, how's it going? Look, I've just dropped Christian off and just thought I'd show people. This is Fratton Road, Portsmouth. This is where it all started. This is where the wall was. I'll show you the road, look. Little quick guided tour of Fratton Road on my way out. Pompey Darts, look. Fucking amazing time in there. Down there is where Christian said don't park or you'll lose all the wheels off your van by the morning. Is it called Bucklands, I think? Something like that, I can't remember. Look. That house next to the pub, I'm already zoomed in, but that cream place next to that pub, the upstairs flat. Right next to a node. Of course. Oh look, and there's Halford's. Just across the road. Oh yeah. Come on people. It's getting fucking wet here. Trafalgar Arms, no less. Oh, yeah. Look, 252. Top flat. I don't want to stand there and bait it up. But that's where it all started. What was it? Around about September 2022. Mental. Anyway, peace, big love. Hello guys, how's it going? Dropped Christian off, just on my way back. It's hammering down today. Proper. Just thinking, right? This cherished wisdom, the ascensional keys to ascension, all that folklore about ascension and stuff like that. It's all just reality. It's just all the truth of reality. That's all it is. It's just knowing and understanding the truth. And when you realise why that is important, it's because of the shock. All of it is because understanding all of it, not just the Satanism, but everything else, like where you live, what you live on. The reason that it's important is if the earth is round or flat, is people say, well, why would they lie to us? Why would it matter? It's the most fundamental thing. If you don't know where you live, I mean, people don't know who they are, where they live, what their name is, when they are born. They don't know what the date is, what the day is. The season they live in is fake. People don't realise the basic things. Now when this happens, because it's going to involve technology, like a lot of it, yeah, like only technology, but it's going to look supernatural. So when you've got people that don't understand that they live on a flat, non-rotating plane and they're sure that they live on a globe, when this happens, they're double fucked. Because their reality, do you see how understanding these little bits of truth, whatever it is, as much as you can before this event happens, is what's going to save you and help you ascend if you're one of those that has the opportunity to. There was that, what's her name, I was saying to Christian, there's that Princess Ramona of, I think it's the Philippines or something, giving a press conference the other day, or the other week might have been, I saw it the other day, giving a press conference saying that 97% of the population, not just of her country, I don't know if it was the Philippines or it could have been anywhere, Borneo, I don't know, but her name was Princess Romana, and the press conference was about other stuff that was cut off, but in the press conference she said 97% of the population of the earth are non-player characters. And I'm like, wow, that's getting mainstream now. Yeah, Christian was talking about this like 2 years ago. So, and said, well, he thought it was about 30% to start with, but then it became apparent that it's actually a lot more than that. And then there was that Chinese woman the other day, I posted that on my Facebook as well, that Chinese woman that said, think about it. She was talking to this geezer. She said, think about it. She said, in 1950, the population of China was 500 million. She said, and they had a single child policy for 45 years. So no one was having 5 children. She said the population apparently now is 1.247 billion. She said, but to have that population increase in only like 50 years or whatever, 60 years, she said every woman in China, so 500 million people, say 250 million women for argument's sake, yeah, 250 million women would have to have 5 children each in their life to make the population increase, and they'd have to carry on doing that for 50 years. She said, but think about it, there's been a single child policy, so no woman in China's had 5 children, no way. She said, so where's all these extra people come from? Now, she didn't say they're NPCs, but it's obvious, isn't it? That's where they've come from. They created people, inserts. This is what Christian's saying. Strange. But, yeah, so understanding, like, the shape of the earth matters for so many reasons. People think, oh, don't worry, I'll be all right when it happens, because they ain't got a fucking clue what's happening. They don't know what's happening. Understanding what's going on is the handrail to not losing your marbles when this happens, yeah? Really it is, because you'll be in a state of, you'll be in a state of being a lot more calm than everybody else. Because, like, silly things, like we, you know, we don't, the world isn't round and it isn't flat. Although there is a physical plane of existence, yeah, and we live in third density of that, a fake third density that's not meant to be there, yeah, which is why we're going through all this right now, fucking hell, honestly. This is why we even have music and theatre and drama and roads and cars and rubber and plastic. This is for that reason, all of it. It's crazy how deep this goes. It is so far out. But, like Christian explains, the countries, like the major nodes, where they put all of these ancient buildings, yeah, like the pyramids and all the churches and all the cathedrals and all of the military bases and all the hospitals, they're all on major and minor nodes because they don't want that positive energy coming out. That ain't, oh, Lewis has sat down, hang on, don't want to make a wrong turn. They don't want that positive energy coming out the ground. They do, but they want to harvest it from where it backs up from, being when you get these power cables going over fields and terrain, and yeah, so when they put a city down, that with something that develops into a city, for instance, that's on a major node, and they need that city to spread out over time because they don't want no positivity. The natural earth energy is very positive, it's not harmful, but they harvest that and they use that to turn it into AC DC and give us harmful energy that can kill you, yeah. So we don't have no free energy that's harmless. Free energy doesn't harm you. You can't get electric shock off it, yeah, that's been proven many times with many different forms of it. So it's a different type of energy, but that's what Tartaria used. But anyway, I don't want to digress. So the major nodal points, when they're dampened, right, so when you dampen it, when you put your thumb over a hose, yeah, the hose gets fatter, yeah, and then if it's an old hose it might burst, yeah, for argument's sake. So what happens is when you put a city or a cemetery and a cathedral on a major nodal point, that is dampening that energy. Well, that energy, as that area expands with industry and homes and whatever, yeah, that energy is also getting suppressed, so it pushes the energy back out, yeah, out of the city, the village, the area, yeah, and that's where they're harvesting that energy from, is when that energy is like backed up, dampened and cut off. So they're harvesting it from where it isn't, because they don't want that energy in the cities, in the towns, in the villages, in the area where people are going to be, because multiple reasons. They might see higher density. If someone's in an area with major nodal activity, they could, and if they're in a really good mood, very positive people, like salt of the earth, always doing good deeds, their vibration might be high enough to frequency match the area, the locality, and they might be able to see a bleed through of a crystalline temple where the where the cathedral is or something like that. That's just one reason they don't want people. It's health. They don't want you living long lifespans. That is totally not the idea. They need to keep you alive for a certain amount of time, because if you're not died before you're like 40, they want your Cessna KV bomb back. So once you've retired, retirement age, 40 to 60, you need to die really, because you're worth nothing to them. Paying a little bit of tax here and there, having good times. They don't want you having a good retirement. That's counterproductive for them. They need you pissed off and upset. That creates loosh. They can harvest that. They can't harvest you being happy. So there's no happiness in retirement. Some people, you might have a couple of days a year and enjoy that and think that that's what life's about, but it ain't. That's not what life's ever been about. Yeah, nor's a globe. No one's ever thought in the history of ever as anyone. I've seen so many idiots saying, oh, everyone's always thought, all previous civilizations have always thought the earth was a globe. Have they? Fuck. None of them have. Not one ever. Not for any reason. The globe was invented for the last reset. That's all. Yeah, for this reset, the final reset being the last reset, the one we missed. But so all of that, you know, people, like, we live. That's what I was saying about the nodes and the energy. So the countries, even the countries, aren't anywhere near where they say they are. That's how come travel is instantaneous back home, because you're travelling through a crystalline lattice membrane network. It's like billions of frequencies stacked up in a cube. The cube is made from the same material as the firmaments, and the sun is, all the suns are made from that same material. It's impenetrable. Yeah, it's like fucking 18th density technology. Yeah, high vibration, but these frequencies are all stacked up in it like a big TV set. Yeah, and your consciousness is the chip. So it's your understanding and awareness and consciousness is what creates your experience. And but where was I going with that before? What was I saying? I well digressed there. Yeah, the shock, and the reason that it's important to wake up and to hang on, where am I going? Wake up and to understand this stuff. Some of it might sound freaky, some of it might sound far out, but the thing is, when you look, it's like anything. If you don't know what's in the box, how do you know what's in the box? Maybe you should open it. It could have £10 million in that box, or it could have a dead rat in there. But if you don't open the box, how are you going to know? If you find a treasure chest in a field, what, you're not going to open it? Why not? Of course you're going to open it. Who's not going to open it? If you was ploughing a field and dug up a big old pirate's chest with a padlock still on it from fucking 1471, you would open it. I promise you, I don't care who you are. So with this knowledge that could literally save your life, why don't you want to open the treasure chest? Yeah? I don't get it. I just don't get the complacency. I fucking don't. It drives me out the wall. You might have noticed. Sorry. Oh dear. Yeah. So understanding just simple things like, so you've got to think about it. If they'd lie about the shape of the Earth, which seems like a pointless thing to do, when we all know it's a sphere. When I first found out that the Earth was flat, it was a big coin drop moment, penny drop moment for me. I was like, wow, it took me 4 years to work that out, from contemplating it and thinking anyone that thinks the Earth's flat is off their head. And that's the least of your worries, the fucking least of your worries. When you've got things coming up, like, I mean, I've done this a few times lately. I saw, because I saw that geezer and a woman who was rape prosecutor, a child abuse prosecutor for like 25 years, and she heard audio of one of Jeffrey Epstein's victims being tortured, 2.5 hours audio, and she was nearly in tears, and she said, I've seen the unimaginable and I've heard the unimaginable in 25 years as a child abuse prosecutor. She said, but just listening to that audio, she said, people aren't ready for this. She said, that is next level, basically. She didn't say next level, I'm just saying. She was like, that is, people are going to be ill when they hear that. And that's just hearing it, that's not seeing it. Now people's minds, right, I've had to let my mind go there, because I've been bombarded with it lately, but these things that they've done to kids, it's not just hurting them and being horrible, that's difficult enough to take. That's difficult enough to take. I saw a fight scene the other day on Stranger Things. It's like season 6 or whatever. It's the little girl. It's funny because I felt like she felt. The little girl, I think her name's Zoe, in the Stranger Things, yeah. And she's standing on a bed, but they're in a kid's bedroom, but they're in the mind of the captive. Yeah, it's a long story. Watch it. They're trapped in the mind of the captive, Mr. Watson or whatever his name is. But anyway. is the Demogorgon thing. But so she's standing on the bed and she's awake, she knows what's happening, she's worked it all out, and she's standing on the bed screaming, it's not what you think, he's not who he says he is. Please believe me, she's begging all her mates, all like kids, to listen to her, because they all think that Mr. Watson's this really nice guy that saved them. Yeah, so basically they're the general public and she's the awake one on the bed screaming, please listen, won't you wake up, can't you see what's going on? And they all turn on her. But that's, I thought, do you know what, I feel like you little girl every day, I feel like that. Do you know what I mean? Feel like screaming on the fucking bed, yeah? Because people are, it's so fucking far out. It's not anything you can conceive in your mind. It's nothing that you would see in a horror movie. It's far too disgusting. No one would want to go. No one would go to the horror movie. No one that likes horror would want to watch that. No one. You might think, oh, I love horror films. No. You wouldn't want to watch that knowing it's real. And you know what they're doing. You know. What I was saying is I've had to let my mind go there. Imagine like a small kid standing there with no face, no hair, no ears, face all cut off, flayed alive, no skin. They're not standing, they're strapped to a bed so they can't move. I would start wrapping your head around those images now, because when this happens, it's going to be a lot easier if you, every time you think about something like this, yeah, and as disgusting as it is, put just a quick image in your mind of what that might look like, yeah, from all the things you've seen in horror in the past. Make an image and try and get acclimatised to that and what that might look like and feel like. Because I get a bit sick when I feel about it. I can't meditate, right, but I can do things like that. When I'm driving along, my mind will wander and that will come into my mind. Yeah, like I say, if I try and meditate, I can't focus on anything. It just don't happen for me. But 8.3 miles. But I would suggest, however you relax in the butt, whatever, start putting your mind to these really unsavoury things and try and imagine what that might be like for the victim and you in a minute when it happens. Because when this does go off, and like in lockdown, where people will find out why they're actually locked down, it's going to blow them away. I tell you, it is. I get blown away multiple times a day thinking about it. Multiple times a day. Driving along, I've already been blown away about it. I've only been driving for half an hour. All different aspects I think about all day long. It's all I can think about. It's the only thing, really. What else are you going to think about? It's reality. There is no other reality. It's just been kept away from everyone because it involves Satanism and killing kids. And everyone likes kids. Most people, you know, it's only 1%. When they realise that 1% controlled all of this, and that they've been fighting in wars. I mean, any one of these revelations when they come, and there's going to be fucking so many, people ain't going to know what's hit them. And that's before the red shoes. You know, you've got thousands of years of Satanism. People find out that Jesus was Lucifer. It says in the fucking Bible, said this before, a couple of years ago. It says, Genesis 22:16, I think it is. For I, Jesus, of the house of David, bring to you this message for the churches, that I am the bright morning star, and he identifies himself as Lucifer. That's Jesus. And then you find out that all the gods, like Enlil was Satan, Satan was Kukulkan, Kukulkan was fucking Viracocha, or not Viracocha, what's the other matey? They're all the same people. Yahweh was also Satan. They're all the same people. All these biblical characters are all the opposite to what everyone thought. They're nothing to do with anything nice. They all killed and ate children, all of them, every single one. And everyone in history did. Every prominent figure in history also killed and ate children. That's how come this lie worked, because they're all Freemasons. And it's 33rd degree Freemasonry and higher. That is the what's held all this together. It's the glue of deceit. The whole thing, because once you're a 33rd degree Freemason and you kill children on camera or with witnesses, like we say before, in the old castles when they used to poke the eyes out of the oil paintings, yeah, you've seen them in cartoons and films, you'll see eyes moving in an oil painting. That was how they witnessed these atrocious events. They didn't have camcorders back in 1642 when Adam Weishaupt created the secret order of the Illuminated Seers of Bavaria. That was just that version of the Illuminati. They've been about forever from day one. That was just that version during 1642 till, you know, that's where they get their little bit of their old fucking heroes from. Heroes, Jesus Christ. So that's how they witnessed it back then. They'd witness it through oil paintings, or free judges, or free magistrates, or free police, or free respected people, free GPs that were also Freemasons would watch it, witness it, and then you're fucked. You're going to do whatever you're told for the rest of eternity, or for the rest of your life. Obviously Freemasons don't need to sell their soul, they just kill kids. They don't need to sell their soul, they're not required to do that. Maybe some do if they want to be really powerful Freemasons, but it's not really something they need to worry about, selling their soul. They just have to kill kids and do what they're told. And if you're in the police chief and you're told, or you're an NHS boss or whatever, and you're told by the you have no choice but to do it, because you've killed. By the time you've been in the Freemasons a few years, up above 33rd degree, you've killed bare children. You've got to do it all the public holidays. You're sacrificing kids, definitely. I don't know how many, 1, 10, fuck knows. All the celebrities have to do bundles. On one day, I think on Christmas Day, I can't remember, but I think one lodge in London on Christmas Day, or is it London? Yeah, they all get together, I don't know. But there's 666 kids just on Christmas Day every year. Just on Christmas fucking Day, all in one room, all sacrificed at once, or in their respective lodges maybe. Yeah, fuck knows, but it's dark as fuck. People can't even talk about it, they don't want to discuss it, it's too big a topic for them, they can't wrap their head around this. They can't even wrap their head around to fucking why someone would put a bioweapon in something called a vaccine, because they don't know anything about anything. They don't know that vaccines were created to harm. They were never created to... We've got an immune system, we don't... Viruses aren't what people were told, history isn't what people were told, geography isn't what people were told, religion isn't what people were told, nothing is what anyone was told. Sooner people wake up and realise that, you'll be alright. If you can't work that out, well, you're in a lot of trouble, like a lot of trouble, because when that sky splits open, and it's gonna, people won't realise that technology is what we live in. We live in technology, the whole thing. There is no natural or supernatural. It is natural if you want to look at it like that, but it's a holographic technology. Everything, the fucking road, the car, me, my vessel, everything, except the soul. Now it's interesting that the soul and the high densities, this I found fascinating. It was, for me, it was more proof. The Christian's info, I didn't need any more proof. I got fucking bundles of it, but it was another big indicator that this, because it just, I knew it straight away. Physical, we are told, we think, and that the way that this, all their bullshit evolution, yeah, is like you start off from 8, Nothing like that is remotely similar. It's not even possible. Yeah, it don't happen like that. Everything's created in a lab. But physical life wasn't created. Created like 6-7 billion years ago. Physical life. Yeah, there wasn't physical life before that. Everything was done in the high light realms, in the high densities, because super intelligence came before physical life. Yeah, all of it, for a fucking long time, billions of years longer than there was physical life. There was oh fuck, I missed it. No, billions of years before there was even physical life. Yeah, there was it was in all the light realms. It was all high density beings. Yeah, and then they done everything they could in the higher densities and done it all. So the next thing was to, right now, we start creating vessels, and we'll start building, vessels to move about the planet in and do stuff with and experience a different side of reality. The reality that was already perfect. They'd done it perfect. It was perfect. Everything was sweet. But they didn't have a physical plane of existence to live on and to do stuff on. So they created, so then the physical life came first. So super intelligence and this perfect existence came before the creation of sand and stone and dogs and cats and stuff like that. Everything just started off with, they were creating plant life, wildlife, animals, yeah, fish, yeah, all to start with. Aquatic life came first, and then hominid life, yeah, the last form of life, and then the Taran souls are the last final creation. The perfection of that life is the Taran souls, and as Christian explains, they were tucked away for this, what was going to happen, created to push back against the foreseen parasitic inversion when it happened long in the future for them. So they were hidden in what on the Claudio's map is Land of the Forgotten Humans. So they were tucked out of the way there for a few million years to develop and to then seed here, where they were for like 1 million years or something before this happened, or a couple of million years before it all went sour. Too early. It went sour too early. If they'd have been a bit more developed, another million years or so, they would have been able to push back and this wouldn't have happened. But because no help can come from inside the system, and it is a sealed system, it's firmament over the top, you're not getting out, only via portal or the sun, and that's been up until 2017 or whatever, 2018 was hijacked by the parasites. You couldn't go out of the system. You were when you die, you go into the sun, yeah, which is the light at the end of the tunnel, which was hijacked by the parasites. Yeah, the Greys had technology in there that downloads what your little chip, your infinite little blue light in your chest that floats around, everything it sees, hears, touches, everything, yeah, it remembers and knows. It's like an infinite data storage device that's fucking billions and billions of years old. It's got more information in that little blue light, and it's not normally little and blue, it's normally quite big and bright. But to be here and exist with NPCs, NPC soul is little and blue, yeah, because they're created. So to not stand out, yeah, when you die as a star seed or someone or an ET soul, normally, well, your soul will be fucking bright as fuck. If you're an ET soul that was here from day one or a Taran, your soul when you die is big, yeah. But what happens is they can see you a mile away, so they know everyone that's coming to help.
Lane closures ahead.
Great. So they can see everyone that's coming to help a mile away. So people that have come in to help have had their soul layered and frequency compressed to be as luminous as an average NPC soul, whereas an ET soul, for instance, because they want all them in the breeding centres, they want them having the worst lives possible. So they're the souls, the bright glowing souls are the souls they want. When they die, they write, right, we need that one, get him, yeah. And they see you a mile away. We think, oh, because we can't see it, they can see it without technology. They're in 4th density, we're in 3rd density, created by them in 4th density to control us here in 3rd, as a food source, as Christian said a few times now. That's what it's true. It's not made up. Fucking lane closures. What going with that? Thank you. So yeah, as a food source. So that's why we've been lied to about everything. That's why people think the Earth's a globe. It's to cover the fact that they are here to basically eat our kids and use us as a food source and a monetary living off our Cester KV bond. Yeah, that's how they fund their lifestyle, was off the back of our natural resource that is for you to pay your mortgage with, to pay your rent and your water and your gas, or to pay whatever you need in your life for the rest of your life. You've got infinite money. Cester KV 1666 birth certificate bond means, I've heard several reasons what it means, for the good of the people or for something like, I can't remember, but it was set up after the Great Fire of London, but they set it up for them. And one of the arguments that I heard was that the reason they set it up is because they needed people to have a birth certificate, and this makes total sense. They needed people to have a birth certificate because it's a chattel number. They can't do anything with, they can't make a copy of something that doesn't exist. So when they've got a bit of paper that's got a number on it and your name, then they create the straw man, the facsimile of you. That's how it works. Oh, what a wanker. 10 yards. Did I just take the wrong turn? Yeah. Oh, that's fucking bollocks, isn't it? Oh no, I've got another one here, look. 0.3. Cool, I'm stuck in all this traffic as well, and I just took the wrong turn. What a wank. But that's how they do it. So they create a facsimile of you when you are born, when your parents, what they call when you grass someone up. Oh, what's the word? Informants. The informants on a birth certificate. That's why they're called the informants, because they're informing on your arrival. So basically they don't know, and nor did you. So as Black's law says, something created that is fraud will always be fraud. Something created that was void at the start is always void for eternity. So the fact that you weren't told, and nor was your parents, that you needed to be registered and this is what it's for, voids the whole scam. All of it straight away, because once Black's law, this is right, people say, oh yeah, but that's only case law and this, that, and listen, Black's law, right, is the book that they all use globally in any courtroom. Black's law 4th edition, 5, 6, 7, 8, it's just different case is newer case studies as well, yeah. With Black's 4th is what they all go by, yeah. It doesn't matter that they reckon they've changed this and that, it doesn't matter, because something based in fraud is eternally fraud. Something void at the beginning is void forever. So they can change what they want. It is void anyway. Yeah. So read it as it is. Yeah. What they say. Let me not miss this turning. So basically, without that birth certificate and your parents informing on you, because they informed on you and they knew what they weren't told, they just thought they had to register you, because to get a... See, the dangling carrot is, well, if you register your child...
Closure ahead.
Yeah, all right, love. If you register your child, look, you can get free school dinners or an education for your kid, or you can get... you know, this, that, the other. They give it you. Oh, look, you get free healthcare if you register your child, or whatever the reason is through the different errors. They get you to register your kid, then they own it. Because to register something is to give it up, as we've been through before. So to register a firearm is to give up that firearm, to give up ownership. All right, you've got it. You think you own it. You've got a bit of paper that says you are the registered owner. But when you've registered it, you've given up full ownership. Possession is 9/10 of the law. So technically, they own it. Yeah. So they can come and take it off you at any time they want. Your house, your car, your kid. Yeah. I've said before, I knew a case of a family of 5. This is about 15 years ago, I was told this. Family of 5 that had 4 kids, or it might have been 6, and had 5 kids taken away. They're all taken away, and then one was brought back. And the social services said, this one's not registered, we can't take this one. And they brought it back to an abusive household. Apparently, that's why they took the kids. But the one that wasn't registered, they couldn't legally take it. There was no paperwork for that child for it to be processed. So they had to bring it back, which was absolutely bizarre, but that's true. It's a true story. So it's all about paperwork and deception, and they're very good at it, but it's very easy to extrapolate yourself from it. It's not difficult. It's because there's some bumperclut thing on the M25 here, and I'm now going down up a country lane somewhere, more like a farm track. But yeah, the whole fraud, it's all resting on your birth certificate. So they need you dead. If you're not in a bottle of adrenochrome or on the table of an elite family's Christmas menu, then literally, I mean that, if you're not between if they can't get you between the age of just being born or just about to be, because they want fetuses as well. Fetuses are alright, they'll have a fetus or two. They don't want only fetuses, because that's no good, but they still need fetuses. They want all them. That's all that fucking Planned Parenthood and all that bollocks, yeah? But, so they want, if they can't get you by the time you're 16, they want you, basically, you need to be grafting, paying 50% tax, or basically dead. Because when you die, your entire Sesta KV bond value goes back to them, goes back to the government. Now, every child, I've checked this out many times, it used to be your birth weight in gold, but then it changed at some point to... Well, I know where I am. Brentwood. It changed to 50 million. I think it was at some point in the 60s or something. It changed to every child born is worth 50 million. You know, check your child's birth certificate. Go on treasurydirect.gov. So I've got it on my thing loads of time. BC price, BPC /price. And you get the calculator. But lots of people have got it online. I'll find it and post it later if I remember. But you can check your bond, and I've checked several kids' bonds. Now, they are 50 million. Once that you check, once the baby's registered, the government or whatever, the Treasury, whoever deals with this, allocates that child 50 million. That stays at 50 million until the child gets in England a national insurance number. So they're 16. So basically, when you died at sea, age 15 years 9 months, yeah, is when your bond doesn't mature, but it starts getting used big time, and bet on and turned and doubled and tripled and quadrupled, and everyone's making money out of it except you, the named estate title holder, equitable beneficiary. That's you. You're not the trustee. You're not the fucking This is the thing. Another reason when people realise they never push back against this much fraud, tyranny and sexual abuse for thousands of years, they're going to be fucking angry just because they didn't do nothing. They're going to be angry that they didn't know, angry that they didn't do nothing, or if they did know, they're going to be angry and ashamed that they didn't do anything. They're going to be ashamed that they slated us lot in the, people trying to help people and wake people up. All you truth is out there, it's not time to be making money. You're idiots, honestly, you're an idiot. You think this is about you and you fucking paid your mortgage off and living your little ideal lifestyle. I was talking to Christian about this yesterday. He was getting a bit angry, and rightly so, because it's like people just don't fucking realise. How many African people do you see talking about Nasara Jasara and the forgiveness of all debt and their bonds and their tier 1, 2, 3? I've seen loads of African stuff lately on TikTok. I ain't seen no one talking about that because they've never heard about it. Why is no one in China going, oh, I can't wait for my Nasara Jasara funds? It's meant to be a global thing, but it's only America, really, and England that knows anything about it. Some people in Spain might. I bet they've got no tier 1, 2, 3 shit going on for them. We were discussing this yesterday. It'd be interesting to know because no one else in the world seems to be talking about Nasara Jasara. It's only Americans and English people, and there's not many of them that know about it. Do you know what? I thought there'd be, most people would know about it, but they don't. Christian pointed that out today, and he's like, nah, there won't be many. Well, it'd be like a fucking few hundred million or whatever, or dozens of million. How big is America's population? Is it like 500 million, isn't it? 465 million or something like that. Something like that. So yeah, most people don't know about Nasara Jasara. So, like we say, that ain't going to happen. Someone asked me that question the other day about, do I think it's real? I was like, no, it definitely ain't. Someone online, I can't remember who, but I said it definitely ain't. See, it's what I was saying to my mum as well yesterday or the day before. See, Trump was the ultimate deceiver, yeah, because. Yeah, everyone had faith in him. He had, all right, lots of people still like Clinton and what's his face and Biden, but yeah, but Trump's got, yeah, that's how come he was been voted in several times. But the thing is, right, he's the ultimate deceiver. Yeah? That's why he was taken out in 1989 in a helicopter crash and replaced with the son of General George Patton. So the person playing Trump since 1989 is George Patton Jr. That's who he has been. Now there's like 6, 7, 8 people playing Trump right now. Yeah, but for different reasons and in different locations. But some of the time is CGI. Same with everyone. There's 200,000 people in this movie. 200,000 people, and it had to happen. This level of fraud and stuff could go on. It's not just the fraud. It's the Satanism in the kids. That's what this has happened for. That's why the parasites were here. They were here for kids, basically, and your organs. But you needed to not know about any of that. You needed to be oblivious. So that's why you had to be occupied. And you had to go to school and learn fake history so that you never knew reality. Because if they told you that you had family behind the wall, if they said to you, look, Antarctica is not really a continent, it's actually an ice ring, and you've got fucking family behind it, you'd be like, hang about, why wasn't I told about this before? When are we going? Yeah, wouldn't you? Who wouldn't? So they can't have that, can they? Because the food would revolt. It would be revolting food. So, but that's why they needed to keep it secret. And the way they'd done that was with lies and deceit and subterfuge. And getting people to help them do that involved getting people to want to be better than other people. And that involves selling your soul or becoming a Freemason and working your way up to get secret or special handshake contracts, get yourself off of prison, get yourself a new bakery deal with Hovis, whatever it might have been. That was the glue of society, and that's what kept it all held together. The Freemasonic police work with Freemasonic Kafkas, who work with Freemasonic social services, who work with Freemasonic education ministers, who work with Freemasonic Parliament, who work with Freemasonic industry, who work with Freemasonic leisure, and they work with Freemasonic travel. So you've got everyone at the top tiers of all of society involved in sacrificing and killing children. And that's how it works. It's very simple. It's not even complicated. And then you've got all the banking side, all the education side. You can break that all down with Christian's information. You can break each sector of life down, each part of the community. You can break the whole thing down. It's easy. It's not even difficult. A small child could do it. If they knew the truth, a small child could do it because it's very simple. But people's minds are perturbed from looking at it because it's pretty fucking far out. But reality is, and if you think about it, reality had to be far out so that no one ever looked into it. And I was trying to find out what reality was about from the age of 4, I told you. And I never got anywhere until this information came along. That's how I know it's true. Because now I can explain everything. It's not arrogant, it's not big-headed, it's a fact. There isn't a mystery anymore. Christian's info answers everything you need to know. Some things I have to say to him and ask him or double check and be, would I be right in thinking that? And he'd be like, yeah. I'll be like, wow, fucking hell, there's something else that I've just used his info to work out for myself and back engineer it and be like, there's something to do with that, obviously, but then what? And that's how you know this is true info, it's real, because you can do stuff like that with it. Yeah, but it's mental. It's mental times to be alive right now. It really is. It's far out. And I know it's dragging on and people are getting the arse. I have been. Fucking hell. People's stupidity is what does me in.
I mean, like people that are saying that that Christchurch incident, and them that little girl and a little boy, I can't remember their names, Angelo or something, and whatever. I've had some people, they saying, oh, that was proven to be fake years ago. You f***ing idiot. No, it wasn't. You just believe the propaganda like normal, yeah? People go on fact checkers. If you're the sort of person that goes, fact checkers are basically created by the government or whoever needs them to make sure you never find out the truth. That's why they're created, and that's the people that created them with that intent. That's all fact checkers, all of them. Yeah, all of them, bar none. That's what they're created for. In the Second World War, there was leaflet propaganda and that. Now it's called fact checkers. So don't bother going on fact checker. I've seen people tell me that they've worked it all out and they've disproven this and that and this and that because fact checkers. Because oh no, I saw on Snopes or whatever it's called. Oh come on, what do you think that was created for? Wake up, got to wake up. It's way past the time of waking up. This will all go off soon. I know it ain't happened yet, but it ain't got long left on it. No way, no way. So, but anyway, listen, big love people, speak soon. Another thing is death being fake. I was thinking about that just now. Another thing that's going to be shocking for people when they realise, I mean, all this grieving that people have been doing for thousands of years, and this homage to gods and all this stuff, it's all completely unnecessary because death is fake, it's not even real. So when you're like, you've got pictures of the ancestors up on the wall, they're not your ancestors, they never have been. They've been your ancestors in one life, but not now. They won't, you know, you've not been, what I mean is when you've got like, you think, oh look, this, my great-great-granddad fought in the war and he was a Napoleon's advisor or whatever, yeah, it wasn't, you'd not ever been related in soul lineage to that person, ever. That was a one-off, you know, so no one's even related to anyone, so anyone's family trees is irrelevant. It doesn't matter your genealogy, you're only you in this family, with this family in this life, for now. People in your family may well be soul family for the last few loops, but not normally. And obviously most people are NPCs, what we know. So, you know what I mean? None of that's real anyway. That's all fake and invented. So at a reset, when they just take the records, so all of the areas that are devastated, when an area is clean and clear enough to repopulate it, they'll get children in on a train from the local dump, yeah, wherever that, it might be a few hundred miles, it might be across a continent, but they'll get children there on a train, and they'll either have a name already, where am I going, straight up, they'll either already have a name, yeah, or they'll be given a name, and that'll be from the records of the previous people of that, the last reset being the Tartarian reset. You know, so there was no way out of this. There wasn't a way to think your way out of this. So I don't want to get lost 60 yards straight up. There wasn't a way to think your way out of this. The tools weren't on the table for you to come to a conclusion on reality based on the available evidence, because all of the available evidence is Freemasonic lies. All of it. Said before, everyone that ever went anywhere, said anything, done anything, invented anything, done whatever, all of it, their backstory's a lie, yeah, and they're a bloodline member, or they're someone that sold their soul and their backstory's half true, yeah, but all the time it's someone who sold their soul. You don't get to be famous in any capacity. If you're in industry, right, 0.9, if you're in industry and you start smashing it big time, you'll be approached and you'll either sell that business straight away or you'll become a Freemason and you're in the system with them. You might think, fuck me, if I could sell my business, or you know, I could do this fucking hostile takeover or whatever and make whatever, or I could get into the Freemasons here and I could like really go global. So, you know, it's easy to see what happens. Power hungry people that are brought up with films about people that have smashed it in business and the Wolf of Wall Street and all these sort of films and trading places, they're all given the mysticism and the illusion of wealth and finance and success, and that's all fake. It's all based on fake. Even the products being bought are all fake, they're all plastic. Jesus Christ, when people do get their memories back, like Christian says, it's going to be really fucking upsetting. Just the fact that they've been eating this food. You know, you don't eat stuff like this. No one has ever eaten anything like what we eat right now. This is totally bizarre food. Yeah, it's all hang on. It's all, hang on, is that, yeah. It's all fake for a start. You know, I was talking to Christian yesterday about it. Oreos, that's basically plastic glue. People feeding their kids plastic glue ice cream, plastic glue cookies. It's just plastic glue. It's really bad for you. It's made with the worst palm oils and emulsifiers, and it's just like glue for your gut. It's got no nutritional benefit. It just tastes sweet. And as the Rothschild Secret Covenant says, we will deceive them with what kids like best, sweet things and fucking colours and musical tones. And that Rothschild Secret Covenant, fuck me, if people read that, I don't know if people have or if they just refuse to, but if the average person read that, it would really open their fucking eyes, you know, because that's fucking true. It's a real document. And if you look at it, well, look what's happened. Exactly what it says in there. It was created a long time ago. And what's happened is exactly what's fucking in there. So how can it be a conspiracy theory when we've got all of the evidence? Well, I don't understand. Left. Yeah, I don't get it. You know, people, it's only because of ignorance, or they're scared to look, or they're just fucking stupid. One or the other. One of them three. Because we've got audio evidence. And people say, where's your proof? Where's your proof of what? What do you need proof of? How are you missing proof? Why are you not aware of the proof that's available? Because there's tons of it. I mean, tons of it. For 4 years, all I've been getting is closure on things that I'd needed to know for a long time, and loads of proof. So if people aren't getting proof, it's their own problem, because the proof is everywhere now. Really obvious as well. Shitloads of proof about everything, all of it. Tartaria, the mud floods, giants. You know, look, the giants are obviously real. To anyone that's actually looked into it, that giant stuff is obviously real, because the evidence is physically there still, and the testimony. And then Christian turns up with all this info about explaining all about it, and the trees, and the this, and the that, and everything else, the way it works, life back home, what it consists of. Well, we've got a staggering amount of proof, really, now. Anyone resonating, all the resonating army well know this. This is for the newcomers, really, because there's a lot of newcomers. I've had about 1,000 on my page in the last 2 months, about 1,000 people, or just over actually, about 1,200 people in about 2 months, maybe 3. And they're not all tits and arse. So I'd go through them and look at who's joining. I didn't do that on my other 2 accounts that I lost, but so they're all people that are actually waking up. So Christian did say this actually quite a long time ago, 3+ years ago, that Celicia said to him when he was a kid that towards the end there'll be a lot of people will suddenly realise that he was telling the truth and that he has been hidden. Like, his numbers they're not real. His numbers on Rumble have never been real. His numbers on maybe the Facebook, well, now, you know, it's inconsequential, but because of everybody else has got Facebook, his information gets out on Facebook regardless. But the Rumble channel and them numbers aren't real. Because what is he at? 176,000 likes on his profile photo, and only at one point it was only 4,000 subscribers or something stupid like that. It was the disparity between that statistic that was clearly real, because it was 176,000 likes, but only 4,000 people had bothered to. Yeah, it's crazy. They manipulate all that, and people will see how and why. It's all controlled by AI. Yeah, Q is AI and the white hats, but it's the whole thing. That's how come it can post at exactly 15, 51 and 15 seconds or whatever, you know, because it's AI running that whole thing. Everything, like Christian was saying to me yesterday, everything is AI. Everything, even what we are doing now, me driving this van, or travelling from point A to point B in a private conveyance, as is my inalienable right. I'm not driving the van, am I? Of course not. So, but yeah, everything is everything's technology. And you know, like there's been folklore stories like Chicken Little and When the Sky Fell. Yeah, that's about what's coming up in a minute. When Q says future proves past, that's what he meant. Loads of stuff like that. Yeah, people will see stuff that had been told to us in fairy tales that's just about to happen. Yeah, and that's why it's important to know where you live. Yeah, and like I was saying before at the beginning, when you know where you live and what you live on, and you know that what is real to believe in, yeah, it makes everything else a little bit less shocking. When you know, for instance, that you live on a hard drive, actually in a crystalline lattice membrane network inside a box, technically, then and you're living in a simulation, then when you see the sky pixelate and all that, reality start to change, like Doctor Strange, yeah, when that happens, then you'll be more prepared for it and you'll be in less shock and less trauma. So that's basically, you know, and obviously understanding Satanism, if you can put images in your mind of what that might look like. I've seen several, I've seen one video in particular of a woman that was standing like she was standing outside one of those old gas things that we used to have in England, and big gas things that used to go up and down. It was like a factory unit or something like that, but the screams coming out of it, there was a lot of kids in there screaming for their lives. You might remember the video, you might have seen it. I think I posted it or reposted it. But you can hear, it's not kids at a swimming pool having fun inside, it's kids screaming for their fucking lives in one room. Horrible to listen to, and that's just the screaming. That isn't, you see what I mean? When you allow yourself to get an image and visage in your mind what that might look like, a 6-year-old with no skin on their body being tortured, oh my god, by a satanic witch that's trying to terrify them, and an Alpha Draco or a fucking, you know, all sorts of mad monster shit. Honestly, people aren't ready. People are fucking not ready for this. Especially the people that are asleep still. People that ain't even interested. Oh yeah, I've heard about the red shoes. Oh yes, them, you're fucked. But you deserve that. You definitely do. You don't realise how fucked you are at the moment, but trust me, it's coming in a big way very soon as well. So, I mean, the historical aspects to this, it's been going on for such a long time. It's mind-boggling how long it's been going on for. Mind-boggling. Billions and billions of children, maybe trillions, have been sacrificed over that time. And some of you lot have been, yeah? Some of you lot. Quite a lot. Well, most, to be honest, considering how many actual real people there is on the planet. They'd rather be sacrificing real souls. They don't really want to... They sacrifice NPCs, of course they will, and eat them and get adrenogram out of them. But they want the Taran human. ET souls, that's what they're here for. You're the prize crop. So, everyone that's been naysaying and tomato throwing, well, you're in a lot of trouble. And it's going to be created by yourself, because when you realise that you actually fought on behalf of your captors, that's going to be traumatic. It's going to be traumatic. You're fighting on the wrong side is what's happened. People come in with free truth. Christian's got the only truth that's ever been told on the planet, and it's not charged a fucking penny for it, and people are slating him and calling him all sorts and that. It's mental. Those are going to be the worst affected. Obviously the NPCs won't know anything about it because they just disappeared, don't they? But the other souls, the true souls that have trolled, and people that have worked it out on the channel and then rebelled and started thinking they're important and all that, they're going to be the worst affected, because they're basically on the side of the government. That's basically a simple equation. Traitors, absolute traitors, but it's what it is. They're all pure souls. One day they'll heal and they'll join society again when everyone gets back, healed and back together. It's crazy. People are so greedy. Like Christian was saying this morning, like all these greedy people and that out there that want the forgiveness of all debt, and they're tier 1, 2, 3, and they're worried about their getting on their med bed before they die. They're not thinking about fucking 600 million vaccine damaged children, and you know, and children like Ruby who have been fucked up by experimental technology. They're not like, oh well, let's get the kids healed first. No, they're like, oh, I need to get on that med bed. I've only got 6 months to live. Fuck everybody else. And they want their gold, their silver. Yeah, I want to start my humanitarian project. I'll tell you what, 90% of those people that are going to get their gold and silver for their humanitarian project in a world, what sort of a world do they think they're going to live in? Don't forget, you've got however many people they think is going to be alive after this. There's going to be 500 million. But however many people they think, yeah, maybe they don't know there's NPCs, yeah, and 97% of those people are fake. But what, everyone's going to be not working no more because we don't need to, because we've all got like a warehouse full of gold each, and we're just going to be sitting there counting our gold coins, popping down to Tesco's every time we get hungry. Is that what they think life's going to be like? When you've got a planet full of people that now don't need to work, they're not going to, are they? So then who makes stuff? Where does stuff come from? Who grows food? Because everyone's buying it, they're not fucking growing it. People will be like, well, farmers will be like, well, do you know what I mean? I've got like $48 trillion, well, I don't really need to farm no more. Tell you what, I'm going to turn my farm into a museum. Motherfucker, this is some bare water here. On the M25 as well. But yeah, people won't want to go, what do they want to go to work for? So no one will be making anything. Society will just collapse in about 3 weeks. There'll be no one cleaning bins. What are they going to do? Get AI to clean the fucking roads and to repair potholes and to build infrastructure? Of course they're fucking not. These people are so fucking greedy, they haven't thought this far ahead yet. They're still stuck on their redemption appointment date when they toddle off to Walmart to get their Q phone and sign up for their fucking tier 1, 2 and 3. That would have been their last day of freedom. That would be you going in. The reason they said don't bring a phone is because you get a Q phone. The Q phone doesn't exist. That was the law. This is so simple to work out. The Quantum Financial Initiative was the law to get everyone to agree to be in a 15-minute city or a FEMA camp. Your choice, take your pick, one or the other. That is what the Quantum Financial Initiative was actually for. That's what its purpose was. So there was never tier 1, 2, 3. That was to catch all you muppets out. Yeah? Because the forgiveness of all debt, why do you need 3 tiers to that system? You don't. Because there's the forgiveness of all debt. You weren't ever in debt in the first place. But that's another reason you know it ain't real. Because no one was ever even in debt. So how can debt be forgiven? No one was in debt. There's not a single person on the face of the fucking earth that's ever owed a penny to anyone. Because they've all got assessed a KV bond, that I said. When they start trading on that, that turns into billions. Most people, I didn't know this till recently, your driving licence is worth as much as all of your, so your national insurance number is worth as much as your driving licence. So mine's 550 million. My birth certificate is also 550 million. So I'm worth about 2 billion. Yeah. Now my bond is a very small bond compared to most people I've checked. They're all 2.8 billion, 3.5 billion, 3.8 billion. So for them it will be the same. Be the same for their birth certificate, be the same for their passport, be the same for their driving licence. You can check all this on treasurydirect.gov, bcprice/sbcprice.com, I think. But it's on everywhere. But so look, everyone's never been in debt, so you can't have your debt forgiven because you weren't ever in debt. In fact, you're owed a fucking lot of money. You're owed one hell of a lot of money because everything you've bought on finance and paid back, you already paid for. So everyone's been double mugged off in a big way. That is going to upset people big time, just that. So when this happens, right, when they call the first scare events and people realise that this is real, I was wondering what they're going to do with police and the family of police that are not involved in this, because anyone that, if you knew someone was a copper when this happens, there's going to be headhunting gangs out there. When they realise that they've taken bioweapons, been ripped off left, right and centre, and we're here for food and all this stuff, it's going to go mental. And they want it to go a little bit mental in isolated areas because it has to happen. But I don't want to be involved in any of that shit, and I wouldn't recommend anybody else get involved in it, because it's going to be fucking apocalyptic fucking battlefield shit. You've got people hunting down nurses and doctors and police and judges and magistrates. Yeah? Teachers that turned a blind eye and got paid for allowing their kids in the school to be vaccinated. That's all coming out. Shocking, mate. Complicit in genocide. The police, right? They're not out doing much at the moment, are they? They seem to have disappeared mostly. And I saw 2 today. I saw 4 yesterday. I saw 2 today, which is rare. I normally see 1 or 2 a week now, and I do a lot of driving. But a lot of travelling from point A to point B in a private conveyance, as is mine now, all right. But so you know, they're. What was I saying just now? I was talking about the police, wasn't I? Yeah, they turned a blind eye to genocide. Not only that, they facilitated genocide, yeah, and enforced it and took the party line and backed the government. who were blatantly, after died suddenly, this is what I was going to say. See, the thing is, and people overlook it, right? But died suddenly was so in your face, blatant vaccine death, right? That was the global watershed for stupidity. When died suddenly was the white hats going, right, now we'll show them, because some of them were thick. Some of them were just thick, right? So we'll just show them, make it really obvious for them. Look, this is, yeah, we'll call it died suddenly, and then we'll advertise it as a thing, and we'll see who goes along with it, right? That's what that was. Now, after died suddenly, like a week later, anyone still vaccinating people, anyone still going along with that government line on that COVID shit, they're all in a lot of trouble. They're all in a lot of trouble. Everyone's been monitored. So, all you police that turned it blind, you should have been protecting the public from a now proven and deadly bioweapon created by DARPA in 2015. You shouldn't have been hassling people to take it and making COVID restrictions a thing. You facilitated genocide. Yeah? That's why you're going to hang, and you will all hang for that. There's very few that won't, because everyone went along with it. Unless you retired or spoke out or stepped away, or, you know, unless you've done any of those things, you are in a lot of trouble. So when you're out there now pulling people for fraudulent acts, statutes and policies, that's fucking ridiculous. It's a laughing stock. That is absolutely laughing stock, when you are actually technically accountable for facilitating genocide yourselves, at minimum. And that's without all the fraudulent stuff that you've been up to in the past. It's laughable, and that's probably why there's not many about. I think maybe someone's told them on a Gmail, listen, maybe they've all retired, or just maybe they've all just gone home. Maybe they've all laughed their jobs off, but there ain't none about now, I promise you. Because like I said, you know, for the last, up until 2020, yeah, before 2020 and before, I used to see 30 cop cars a day, at least, all day, every day, maybe more. In London, a lot more. On foot, a lot more. Even in Colchester, on foot. Well, you don't see them on foot for years now, but they used to be everywhere, and you just don't see them. There's none. I've seen 2 today, 4 yesterday. It's crazy, but I'm apparently one of the only people that can notice this. It's strange, isn't it? But anyway, I notice things like that big time, and I'm good at questions. I've always had a lot of questions. I told you, when I got into this, my questions were basically, how come we've got one God and Egypt has 200? And that was what started me off in my interest about all of this now. It's weird how it's worked out. All of my interests that I've ever had, my hobbies, or hobby should I say, has been on finding out what is the truth of reality or existence, or what are we here for, or what, yeah? And because none of it made any sense. And then only Christian's information makes me understand completely why that doesn't. It never made sense. Why didn't it make sense? We've got experts discovering shit left, right and centre, yet there's still no one knows anything. We've got more fucking questions, never any answers. We've just got some answers that just lead to another 300 questions. They're not going to even touch them questions for the next 50 years. Just going to talk about the artefact or the find or whatever. And that new fucking boogosphere they've found, what a load of bollocks. Don't believe that bollocks. Look who's advertising it. I didn't even mention this to Christian, I was going to. But that boogosphere thing, right, that is obviously, like, you've got Stephen Greer, the Alpha Draco shape-shifting reptilian, who's in possession of it or doing all the tests on it, and all these other characters are all CIA. Everyone involved in the boogosphere. They've even got video footage of it falling out the sky, hitting the jungle. Come on. The whole thing is staged and it's a fake artefact. I don't even need to ask Christian about that, really. I've just answered it. The boogosphere is fake. It's part of the narrative. The fake alien invasion narrative, setting the scene for that. Oh look, advanced alien technology. Oh look, we can prove it definitely is. All before it's like, oh well, we're not sure. Yeah, now they're like, no, it's definitely real. All that boogosphere, what a load of bollocks. It looks like I made it out of a load of hubcaps in a metal workshop, and they put some, like, colour, you put a couple of lights on it, I think, even, is there, or a circuit board thing on it. It just mac as fuck. It's like the mackest football you've ever seen in your life, and they reckon that this is, it's just laughable. But it's just part of the fake alien invasion narrative that they're going to come out with soon. Very soon, by the look of it. So, yeah, be interesting. But anyway, I need to concentrate on where I'm going. Big love, people.